What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another F1 video on this lovely Sunday. Feels good. You know, the fresh new week starts tomorrow. You know what, like, weekends are crazy because weekends are just freaking, they just flow by. But then when you get to actual week, like the work week stuff like that, like, ugh. But here we are. Hope you guys are doing good and amazing, man. But Sundays. But some pretty serious news I did see today. I think I seen something about Christian Horner, like the whole like investigation. I haven't really talked about it because I haven't really known too much about it. But I think I did see it. I think it's something like misconduct, something like that. So it's not really a good look if all that is true. But whatever is happening in that case needs to be resolved quickly. And if that requires Horner or Red Bull to face fines, or he has to leave, then that needs to be the best case scenario. Like I said, I really don't know. Like, I haven't really deep dive into it. But if any of you guys know, let me know in the comments down below. But we are back with our sponsors, and we are going to check out which sponsors are banned from F1. Now we know about the drugs, stuff like that. What else have been banned? Shout out to WTF1 as always. Don't forget to like the video and sub as well, boys and girls, ladies and gents. Let's get started.
Which controversial sponsors are banned in F1? If you were to take a look at an F1 car today, let's take the Ferrari for example, no reason, and strip away all of the sponsors on it. It looks pretty weird, doesn't it? That's why big companies pay huge amounts of money to feature front and center on an F1 car. The audience actually associate a big sponsor with the F1 team themselves, which is huge for brand awareness. When F1 first began, though, there wasn't a sponsor in sight. Cars raced in their national colours, such as Ferrari's Italian red or Lotus's British racing green. The first year sponsorship was a thing was in 1968, when Lotus debuted their first commercial sponsorship. And ever since, F1 cars have just been very fast advertisements. Ahead of the new F1 season, and with teams like Red Bull signing a record-breaking cryptocurrency deal, it got us wondering, which sponsors are banned from F1 and which are surprisingly allowed?
Interesting.
Smoking, banned.
Yeah, we know
sort
that.
of. If we asked you to name an iconic F1 livery, we reckon Ayrton Senna's famous red and white McLaren or Williams' blue, white and yellow livery in the 1990s.
Hey, that Williams is nice. I always forget about the Williams back in the retro livery. You know what? Do you know what we need? This is my 2024 shout out. F1 season shout out. I think there needs to be a race in which all the cars have like a retro themed livery. Like, I'm talking about, like, McLaren goes back to that Ayrton Senna one, the red and white. Williams goes back to something like this. Like, I just want like a retro, like an 80s, 90s theme F1 livery for each car. I need it. Now, I don't know Haas when it wasn't really alive back then. Stuff like that. But, man, I need it. If the cars who are all the teams that are qualified to have, like, a retro livery, I need it. I need it. We need it. The streets need it. The F1 fans need it. I need it.
Might spring to mind. Both of them designed around tobacco sponsorships. Funnily enough, the Mercedes team we know today wouldn't have existed without it. In 1999, British-American Tobacco launched BAR to promote its Lucky Strike cigarettes. It sold the team to Honda in 2006, which became title-winning Braun in 2009, and lastly, Mercedes. In 2001, the FIA voted to ban tobacco advertising, and in 2003, the European Union passed a directive to do the same by 2005. Unfortunately, in 2003, the FIA watered this down to a recommendation that teams and brands stop using tobacco sponsorship. Most had already agreed to leave by that point, but this meant a full ban was never in place. A recommendation won't ever stop teams from bringing in millions more in revenue, so no wonder some teams decided to push it. Ferrari continued to run the Marlboro branding in races where it wasn't banned, and only removed them from their team name in 2011.
Courageous.
As a result, brands found loopholes to stay in F1. Marlboro's owners, Philip Morris International, who were estimated to pay around $160 million per season to sponsor Ferrari, launched Mission Winnow. Aimed at raising awareness of their smoke-free products, it debuted at the 2018 Japanese Grand Prix, and the logo has popped up every so often, including in that awful green colour on last year's Ferrari. However, the campaign was banned from the Australian Grand Prix, and they voluntarily removed it from European races to avoid getting into trouble, due to the logo's similarities to Marlboro cigarettes branding. The name's been dropped for 2022 now that Philip Morris's sponsorship has reportedly ended. They're not the only cigarette company still in the sport though, as McLaren...
And I've always felt that regarding like Ferrari and stuff like that. Like, if you know it's banned, why do you keep doing it? It makes no sense. If you know, like, even though loopholes, stuff like that, the minnow, however you say it, everybody knows what it is. Like, everybody knows it's Marlboro. Everybody knows what that is.
McLaren are partnered with British American Tobacco. In 2019, they launched their A Better Tomorrow campaign, promoting e-cigarettes and nicotine products.
Ew.
This was later removed, and
That's
the team now
bad.
swapped between their Velo and Views brands according to local laws, which are still present on their 2022 cars. So I guess in a nutshell, F1 hasn't really banned tobacco sponsorship, despite what they claim. Alcohol, banned at some races. If you've ever wondered why some races have podium champagne and others have rosewater, here's why. Unlike tobacco, alcohol advertising is only banned at select races, such as Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, and Russia. Other races have alcohol companies as their title sponsors. For example, Johnny Walker sponsored the Belgian Grand Prix in 2018 and 2019 and was even named F1's official whiskey.
That's pretty
Dutch beer
nice.
brand Heineken have also partnered with F1, and their When You Drive, Never Drink campaign boards can be seen across many circuits on the calendar. The various different laws have caused problems for many of the teams, such as Williams with their martini-themed livery between 2014 and 2018, which had to be altered at several races. It went so far as Lance Stroll having to wear a different kit to his teammate Felipe Massa at the 2017 US Grand Prix because he was under the legal drinking age of 21. To attend the French Grand Prix, teams are forced to deal with the strange situation of removing their alcohol branding from their cars, motorhomes, and clothing once they arrive at the circuit, only to then put them straight back on once they leave for the next venue. France's strict laws mean alcohol brands can't have any products represented, even if they're 0% alcohol.
Jeez.
This also impacts personal sponsors. At the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Carlos Sainz had to cover up Estrella Galicia's logo on his helmet due to alcohol being illegal there. Gambling allowed. Betting sponsors are a lot less common in F1, with only a handful of firms getting involved, such as the 2019 Alfa Romeo featuring small bet-safe logos. Ahead of last year's Monaco Grand Prix, McLaren were joined by sponsors Entain, with their brands Party Poker and Party Casino displayed on their halos. That hasn't stopped F1 themselves, though, who have signed some major deals since 2018, such as
Now, with like the gambling stuff like that, I'm guessing like FanDuel, Prize Picks, stuff like that, like Bettas, 365, whatever, like, obviously you can't really use those sites because, I mean, I guess you can because I guess they are encouraging gambling, but we kind of know how bad gambling can be. But if you, use it responsibly, ooh, that was nasty. Let me not even say that word again. But if you use it right, it could be fun, stuff like that. The alcohol is interesting because I've seen like Heineken at like different like races, stuff like that. Like, but I know like some countries like rules about that is different, so you have to like honestly like respect those countries' viewpoints and rules of like alcohol, stuff like that. The gambling one is interesting though, because gambling isn't, I guess it's not as bad as like alcohol and like cigarettes, stuff like that, but. You don't want to promote gambling to like, kids and all, especially like at like a young age.
Poker Stars in Europe and 188bet in Asia to become their official betting sponsors who have virtual trackside advertising. Cryptocurrency allowed. Considering the rise and controversial nature of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, cryptocurrency is probably F1's fastest growing sponsor. In 2019, Red Bull became the first team to link up with crypto platform FuturoCoin. Since then, 12 crypto sponsors have joined in only 3 years, and Red Bull have just announced their deal with Bybit, reported to be the biggest crypto deal in sports yet. Some of the deals are pretty ridiculous, as Alpha are rumored to have a new sponsor in Floki.
No, that camo's crazy. That livery is crazy. That livery is nuts.
Inu, a
That livery is
dog-themed
nice. Camo
cryptocurrency.
theme.
F1 themselves even got in on the action last year. Their rumored $100 million 5-year deal with Crypto.com saw them introduce a new Overtake award, which was won by Sebastian Vettel last year. There you have it, a look into which sponsors are banned, which
Alcohol, gambling, crypto, cigarettes, or drugs. The alcohol one, I mean, as long as they can, like, if it's banned, get the above. They like, if they have like, you know, like signs, stuff like that, and it says like, you know, drink responsibly, stuff like that, like Heineken and stuff like that. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. But still, have fun, man. Hope you guys did enjoy it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.